So April 2016, I take off for our annual ride in the hill country. It's me and Cliff and this guy Jim. We meet up for a group of sport touring enthusiasts that pile up in Junction, Texas and ride the Three Sisters and all the other cool areas. I was going to make a stop on my first day and do some flying. So as it goes in Midland, you drive through oil field traffic, these big trucks with gravel and chunks of mud flying off of them, through the flat landscape. There's a little turn, and then you drive through farmland, pecan orchards, cotton fields, more pecan orchards and cotton fields. That's a really big orchard around St. Lawrence, another one just south of there. And we head south, and there's Stiles and the old Stiles Courthouse. And then the big city of Big Lake. And why do they call it Big Lake? Well, there's the lake. I have actually seen it full of water. I was going to put a picture in here, but I can't find it. But let's say it just takes a lot of rain to make that a lake. Nice clear day though. You can see the trees are starting to get bigger, a few hills, and a couple of curves here and there. And here you will see an actual cowboy mending fences. What do you know? And then through Ozona. I don't know if it is anymore. It was the richest city in Texas per capita. Then we hit I-10, and you can see it's starting to get hilly and the trees are starting to get taller. First of the legs down, about 150 miles, made it to somewhere around Sonora in one of the groovy wagon wheel style old rest areas. And so far everything's running well. I'm not too impressed with my new Galaxy S7 that once it loses a signal, it can't find another one until you pull over and reboot it, so that's not very convenient. We'll see how that goes. And so now we're on to Bernie. Cheers. Okay, so I just noticed that there's a bird's nest up there. Very, very small birds. Mom was not happy with my decision. And as we press on, you can see even more hills, these cool road cuts. And this is about the time lost light because I was running a little late and my batteries failed, so I made a stop. Oh yeah, there's a cool Airstream, my bike reflecting in it. Yeah, here you can see it's getting darker. So I stopped in Bernie, and that shot's in Kerrville, and spent the night. There's a great sunset shot. Got up in the morning to some overcast, and you can see the overcast and the fastest and slowest creatures in the parking lot, but I did manage to fly. So the flying leg of the trip is in the bag. Woke up this morning to 300-foot ceilings. It's completely overcast. Came up here and met with an instructor, did a little bit of ground school, and went outside, called my dad and said, hey, let's go to lunch. He's about 40 minutes away. And looked up, sky was clear, and the guy who had the plane reserved after me had already canceled, so I got the plane. Had a great flight, and gonna grab a quick lunch here and on to Junction, meet up with Cliff. There's one of the club's pipistrels. I'm getting checked out in the longer wing version, the motor glider. Just waiting for a little traffic so we get out of the airfield. There he goes. So it's off to Junction, spent the night, got up the next morning, and we left. And I realized after the group left that I hadn't put any fuel in my bike, so I had to turn around and catch up with the guys right here in Harper, Texas. Let's hear it for Captain Checklist.
Do that when you go fly too?
Occasionally, yeah. So it's overcast like it was the previous morning, and we decided to take the Willow Loop. And my battery was dead once again, but here's some shots of the Willow Loop and the Longhorns. And the first shot had a bunch of cool cars in it and a lot of bluebonnets. Texas State Flower and the worthless Longhorns. They're just there to look pretty. Starting to clear off as we went further down the loop, and that's actually a field of bluebonnets. And my bike. Okay, so Kerrville is a little bigger than I thought. Also, it's starting to get warm. So we grabbed lunch along the way, and we went on to Medina. The loop you're going to see is, the run you're going to see is 337. And we made a stop at the Apple place, and also here we are, man. We're in the one of the token roads on the Three Sisters, 337, I believe. And those markers are there to keep you from entering corners too fast, which I did anyway on the first one. So we're being extremely conservative. This is a cool place to ride, but there's a lot of bikes, and you just got to be careful. Take a breath and enjoy it. It's not a place to drag knees. And there are a lot of bikes. Cliff's on an FJR, and that's Jim leading the way on his BMW. Lots of twisties, and it is absolutely gorgeous. The real danger in these curves comes from people not staying in their lanes, like how I just crowded the center line. If somebody else is coming around that corner and on so much as a skateboard and went in at the wrong speed and didn't apex it right, you're going to kiss them. There was actually a fatality. Someone died turning in front of a truck outside of Lakey just about the time this was filmed. Man, I'm crowding that line again. It's really important to look ahead and clear your turn as you make it. This guy on that bicycle, we just talked to him. We sat at a rest area for a couple of minutes and chatted with the guy as he passed at a very slow pace. And he's one of the bicycle camper guys. Real nice fellow. A lot of bikes. A lot of bikes. And you'll see a lot of neat cars. So what was really scary on this trip, if you notice in the roadway, you're going to see a lot of patches where they've poured tar, like right there over cracks. There's a big one. And somewhere up here, you'll see me kind of shake a little bit in a turn. They'll actually shove your tires around if they're lengthwise with the road. It gets pretty scary if you're trying to grip into a turn. There are a lot of bikes that go off the guardrail here. There was a sign that said since 2006, and I don't know when the last time they updated it, but like 13 were killed. But every time I've been down here, there's been a major accident of some kind. And look at those tar snakes. You'll see cruisers, sport bikes, vintage bikes, trikes, you name it. There was a Cobra Jet on this trip and didn't see him, and the Corvette Club was here, and there were a couple of Mustangs in our group. The speed's a little deceiving in the video, but it's pretty rare that you get out of third gear. A 1400cc bike is awfully nice to have for climbing those hills, but you'd have a blast on this road in a 250. Well, we had to cut the trip short by a day because thunderstorms were rolling in, and riding in the rain's not a problem, but lightning and flooding is a totally different animal. And I had plenty of problems with batteries and other growing pains with my first trip out with the GoPro, but still got some good footage. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you out there. Ride safe.